Hey everybody, welcome back to the warbossfitz channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Dwarves for Age of Fantasy, and if you can't tell, we're doing things a little bit different. What we're going to be doing is we're going to go over a little bit about the lore of the Dwarves, and then we're going to change up how we talk about the armies. So stick around. So I get to read you the lore too. So with Age of Fantasy, I have not really looked into the lore because it's just in my mind it's a fantasy setting, but I have looked into it a little bit, and it is real interesting because in Age of Fantasy, it's like the good guys lost. The good guys lost a while ago.
Has his life.
Let's see here. We'll give some bullet points from the dwarf lore here. The dwarf tribes were spread out through Tyria. Oh yeah, Tyria is the name of the Age of Fantasy world. They're spread out on the planet, but then humans and orcs started to come up into the grasslands, so the dwarves naturally retreated back to the mountains, started living there. And the dwarves in the mountains, they didn't like going overland to reach each other, and normally you would think dwarves go underground, right?
You would think.
You would think. No, they used airships. Yeah, so that's where the Sky City dwarves, I think, are going to come in. I'm not sure. We'll see when we get there.
That makes sense, though.
So yeah, they discovered powered flight, and then helicopter convoys became a common sight between the mountains. Then we had the Havoc Wars. I'm sure I'm going to do a whole video on the Havoc Wars, where Havoc arrived in Tyria. God, it makes it sound like when they arrived interior.
They came inside.
The northern dwarf holds were overrun. The dwarves fought back even after losing their homes, and the southern dwarves joined the Great Alliance to protect their homes. God, I want to make southern dwarves now.
Do they come riding into battle to Freebird?
Dwarves from Louisiana? Goddamn swamp dwarves.
There are beast riders in the dwarf army. They could come ride in on gators.
Coming on gators. Okay, well, this makes it. OPR is a global game, but in America, southern dwarves take on a whole different meaning. Like, the hillbillies I met in Appalachia.
I won't go near them woods.
I used to live right up in the mountains. So
there's evil in those mountains and him.
Okay, moving on.
So this is the format you went with. You went from a straight talk about the army list to just more weekly chaos from us.
Exactly. Because, straight talk about stuff. I can sit there and talk about the armies. Where else are you going to get this silliness? Okay, so the Havoc forces came down from the north, took over the northern dwarf strongholds, and then the southern dwarves came up to help. Cue the banjos. And then while the dwarven armies were on the campaign against Havoc, the orcs attacked and soon conquered the dwarf holds. The dwarven armies were forced to return home right before the final confrontation with Havoc in order to save their families. However, they were unable to defeat the orcs, who turned their own defenses against them. Man, even in Age of Fantasy, the dwarves and the orcs do not get along at all.
Dwarves hate anything taller than them. Small power! Anyway.
The remaining dwarves had a difficult life under the orcs. The orcs drove the dwarves out of their holds and took whatever they wished from their subjects. The dwarves held little status, reduced to performing hard labor in the fields and mines, and with their former allies too weakened to help, they live cruel under orc rule for generations. So this is where the good guys lost. And then there was the Great Rift, which, again, not entirely up on my Age of Fantasy lore, but I know it had something to do with the ogres, and something to do with the shadow stalkers, and somebody poked something they weren't supposed to. Yeah, like I said, we'll get into more lore of that. Age of Fantasy lore goes hard, man. Tore through the land, destroying many of the ancient holds. Many orcs were killed by cave-ins, whilst the rest were forced to abandon the holds, leaving behind much of their armor and weapons. The dwarves took the opportunity to rise up. Small power, using whatever weapons and tools they could find to seize back their destroyed holds. Much of their ancient wealth was lost, either buried, carried away by the orcs, or traded away long ago. Despite this, the dwarves were determined to rebuild. Dwarves soon developed industries and new technologies like coal-powered constructs and factories. Their once glorious holds laden with gold and gems are now polluted ruins supported by steel and steam, and they venture out only to take what they need and settle old grudges. No matter what, the dwarves will not allow their homes to fall again. How will you defend your hold? I like it. Okay. We got this first foray into Age of Fantasy lore. These grim and dark. I like it. That's the lore of the Dwarves. Now we're going to go over the army. We're going to go over just small power. We're going to go over like an overview of them. We're going to talk about the army special rule. We're going to give a general feel for the Dwarves. We're going to talk about some of the key units. And then we made some army lists. Some more themed than others. So we'll see how that turns out.
Disclaimer, I have never made an army list before.
Yes, I'm opening up whole new worlds for him. Let's start with the army-wide special rules. Their army-wide special rule is sturdy. When units where all models have this rule are shot or charged from over 9 inches away, they get +1 to their defense rolls. Yeah, they're tough little nuts to crack. All right, and then going into the special rules, some things that might be cool for this army, kind of to tie in with the army special rule. We got fortified. When units where all models have this rule take hits, those hits count as having AP -1 to a minimum of 0. Their weapon special rule is Quake. It ignores regeneration, so there's a tick in the good column for me. And on an unmodified result of a 1 to block the hit, the weapon deals 1 extra wound. So it's like what is it, Shred?
Uh-huh.
With the ignore regeneration, which is nice.
And that does help, especially against an army like sometimes Alien Hives. They have good regenerability.
There's a lot less regeneration in Age of Fantasy than there is in Grimdark, but still good to have.
That's why I don't like fighting against robots. They got robot self-repair. They've got regeneration. They've got like 3 different types of regen.
Only when I build them.
Yeah, you're a dick.
All right, and then the only other thing that really stands out that is different from anything else is they have Swift. This model may ignore the slow rule. Oh, newsflash, your Dwarves are slow because you got little legs. Now here we got the Aura special rules. Precision charge, they get +1 to hit when they charge. Relentless, they get relentless. Rending in melee, the unit gets rending in melee. Resistance, they get resistance. Sturdy boost aura, they get sturdy boost. And instead of getting a +2 to save, it is you get to save all the time, ignore the 9-inch rule. Giggity. And then there's the Swift aura where the whole unit gets Swift. All right, next we're going to go into the spells. We got the Rune of Battle. Friendly unit within 12. They get Rapid Charge, which is good because, like I said, you are slow. So that Rapid Charge gives you +4 inches when you charge.
I wish.
And then you have the Rune of Breaking. It's a standard 1 power combat spell. 2 hits at 18 inches with AP1.
You were saying Rune of Breaking and my brain went Rutabaga.
Rutabaga. The Rune of Protection. 2 friendly units within 12, they get a sturdy boost once. So that means that you ignore the 9-inch rule the next time you get attacked. You have the Rune of Cleaving. Pick 1 enemy unit within 12, which takes 4 hits with AP1 and Quake. Okay, not terrible. Pretty standard. Spells have really gone... They're really less powerful than they were in the last edition. So...
Yeah, took a step down a little bit.
As far as, that being a power 2, that's not bad at all. Then we have the Rune of Spite for our 3 power spell. Pick up to 3 enemy units with an 18. They move -2 when using Advance and -4 when using Russian Charge 1 time. Pretty much, the Dwarves look at you and be like, guess what? You got short legs too. Ha ha! Giving everyone essentially slow, or at least knocking them down 1 peg as far as their speed goes. And then for the 3 power offense spells, it's the Rune of Smiting. Pick 1 enemy unit with an 18, which takes 3 hits with Blast of 3. And that was pretty nice. It's essentially a 9-hit spell. It's AP nothing, but against chaff units, freaking great.
So that, and then I cast Spontaneous Little Legs would be useful.
Spontaneous Little Legs. That's gotta be a thing. It's like the Wizard War.
That's where I was getting the idea. Spontaneous Little Legs.
All right. Now, we're going to go through the units. And we're not going to go through every unit because, no. But we're going to go through some of the units.
The funnest ones.
The funnest ones. Let's see here. We'll go through the heroes because, all heroes are pretty good. We've got the Steam Shoot Champion. Quality 3, defense 3, toughness 6, fearless. It's slow. Comes with a steam gun with some blast of shooting. Yeah, and then it has the different auras you can take with it. You switch out the blast weapon for a melee weapon, or just go straight for heavy fit. He could do some heavy fisting. 8 attacks, AP1 with rending. This guy's pretty chunky. He kind of falls in the same category as the Battlesuit Elite does from the Dow, in my mind, because it's A lot of points. Especially in this army, it's a lot of points. Well, until we get to the big stuff. So I guess that makes sense.
There is quite a bit of big stuff for this army.
There's quite a bit of big stuff, but it's like a hard line between the two. We'll get to it.
Yep.
Next, we got the Dwarf Champion. It's your standard, not foaming at the mouth Dwarf Champion. Quality 3, defense 4, toughness 3. We got all the fun special rules there. It comes with a heavy hand weapon. We got all of the auras you could take. This one can do the Swift aura, which is something to keep in mind. It can also do the Sturdy board. Sturdy boy. It can also do the Sturdy boost aura at 10 points, which we'll get into later, which is nice. We have all the different weapons you can take. Halberd, spears, dual hand weapons, hammers, great weapons. You can upgrade it with a ranged weapon depending where you want to put it. You can give it a Rune of Power, which gives them Devastating Frenzy. We didn't talk about this.
Rutabaga.
Devastating Frenzy, we see that a lot on, I've been doing a lot of demon stuff behind the scenes. So we see a lot of this on the demon armies or the havoc armies. This one, whenever this model kills a unit, gets a marker, they get AP +1 and +1 to defense rolls. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
You say you've been doing demonic stuff behind the scenes. I told you he sacrifices goats.
No, it's doing stuff for Adepticon. And then we have down here at the bottom where you can upgrade him with other stuff to be put into different units. Like you got the Rangers, gives them Scout, Cold Beasts for Swift and Impact, all the way up to like Doom Cart that gives them a Caster 1. Ooh, wait a minute, that's the only caster option. Oh, no, there's a caster 2. Okay, so you can give this guy up to caster 3 with a Doom Cart. But it gives him toughness 3. Oh, he can still go into a unit. He's only toughness 6 at that point. And then you have a Beast Construct down there at the bottom. Heavy Claws, Extra Armor, Impact, Swift, and toughness 3. So they don't have the equivalent of what other armies, like they have dragons and stuff. The Dwarves just ain't got it. I kind of feel like they're missing something there. Like they could put them into like one of the giant constructs. Oh well, moving on. And then our last hero is the foaming at the mouth Dwarf. We have the Berserker Lord, quality 4, defense 5. He's got all the rules: fearless, furious, hero, melee slayer, slow, sturdy, toughness 3. Melee slayer. I didn't talk about that either. Melee slayer. If he's in combat against something that has toughness 3 or higher, all of his weapons get AP +2, which this is like the unit where Melee Slayer kind of originated like 3 editions of the game ago in the Berserkers. And then he comes with a great hammer, starts off with that. It's AP2 Deadly 3. So if he charges something that's toughness 3 or higher, it becomes AP4 Deadly 3. It's not bad. Plus he's got Furious on top of that.
Go, you little bastard, go.
Get it with your little legs. So we got here, we got the Sturdy Boost, the Swift Aura, the Resistance Aura, Rending and Melee Aura, and Caster 2. Rending and Melee Aura is interesting if you want to have just a beatstick Dwarf Berserker squad. Only problem is, God, I would definitely go for Swift Aura over that, just because your Berserkers are going to be slow. And you can replace the Great Hammer with dual Runic Hammers to give them 4 attacks with Quake, or dual Heavy Hand Weapons for 4 attacks at AP1. You can also do the Destructive Frenzy, and you can put them on a Cold Beast that gives them Ravage 1 and Swift. Interesting. Now, let's look at the units. We'll start off the bare basic ones. The Mountain Warriors is your basic troops. You have they come in a squad of 10. You can get a squad of 20. They have quality 4, defense 5. They could do regular hand weapons, halberds, or spears. You can do the Devastating Frenzy. And then you have your command upgrades at the bottom, Banner, Sergeant, Musician. A lot of your stuff has pretty good quality, so putting banners on things, like these guys are quality 4, being the bog standard cheapest ones you could get. Putting a banner on there to get them quality 3 when they test morale.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, the Musician is going to be good. It's going to give you +1 more inch of movement. Every inch counts for our little short kings here. Next, we got our Bearded Veterans. They're just like Mountain Warriors Plus. They got Fearless, quality 3, defense 4, hand weapons. These guys have +1 AP on their weapons, so hand weapons for AP1, spears for 1 and counter, and then heavy great weapons. They have 1 attack each at AP3. That's interesting. And then we have the Banner, Sergeant, Musician on there. Next one is the Berserkers, and this is where things gets interesting. Like, the Berserkers are like an iconic Dwarf unit. 5 of them for 95 points, so they're not exactly cheap. Quality 4, defense 5, and they're not exactly tough either. We got Fearless Figures, Melee Slayer, slow and sturdy. They have 2 attacks apiece starting off base, but remember with Melee Slayer, if they fight something tough, that it's going to be AP2 at least. You can switch out those for dual runic hammers that gives them Quake on top of the Melee Slayer. Devastating Frenzy. Now, Devastating Frenzy with this squad, it's like a no-brainer to put that on there, right? It's like part of the name. Devastating Frenzy, of course, going to go on the Berserkers. Well, I have a tendency to put Dwarf Berserkers into no-win stupid situations to where they might kill the squad that I send them after, but there's going to be like 2 left.
I have seen such things. Shit, when I was building the army, he was talking about another thing in there. I'm like, nope, anything to do with that. Nope, they're always cursed.
We'll get to that in a minute. We do have cursed units. Well, speaking of, that is the next unit. We got the Coal Miners.
Cursed.
This is the unit that is cursed in this garage. Let's see here. Quality 4, defense 5. The thing that they have is they have infiltrate, which means that they are going to be able to ambush, and they can ambush 1 inch away from the enemy. Now, normally, whenever I used miners before, it was always kind of as a roadblock, and they would just get dead. We'll put it that way. They would just die nearly immediately. But
every time,
there are some things you do now a little different. You can give them all explosives.
Good God.
Yeah, they have 1 shot at 12 inches at AP1, which, before I would deploy them and then I would wait to activate them because I'm more concerned about the stuff in front, and then I was using the miners to kind of see if I could pull back some of the enemy units to go deal with them, and then if they didn't, then the miners would do stuff. But with explosives, it kind of puts them high up on the activation order for me. Pop them up there, put 10 of them in the back because they're only 60 points for 5 of them. So let's see here. If you take 10 of them, it's 120, and then the explosives, 2 rounds of 30, will put them at 180. That's not bad. That's not bad to drop real close to somebody, and with the infiltrate, you could drop right on an objective and then do that.
I still don't trust them. I don't trust them.
We got bad history with those.
Every time we've ever used anything minor related to dwarves, stay out of this, Chris Handsome.
Have a seat.
Every time we've used miners for the dwarves, they've immediately been the first thing to die. Literally instantly.
In Grimdark, Age of Fantasy and Grimdark.
They suck. For us. Not for anybody out there. Us.
So let's see. You can do the Rune of Power on those for Devastating Frenzy if you want. I mean, it does key off of ranged attacks, so it is possible to just show up, blow some up with your explosives. All of a sudden, you're AP +1 and defense +1. That's an option. And then you can also replace one of the picks with a mining drill for 1 attack, AP2, deadly 3. I would not put these guys in combat, so that's not an option I would do because, defense 5.
It would have to be a very kamikaze-esque.
Right, it would have to be like a first activation kind of thing, and you're going to be so close with Infiltrate. Sturdy's not even going to exist for you.
No.
So, speaking of something that Sturdy is going to exist for, let's go into the Iron Warriors. Quality 3, defense 3. With Sturdy, these guys drop down to defense 2. These are the bricks. But because they are bricks, they only have 1 attack apiece with Quake.
Yeah, that Quake is nice.
I mean, the Quake is nice. The Quake is nice, but it's only 1 attack apiece.
But
let's see. We can upgrade one with shrapnel bombs or a twin fire pistol. I don't know. In order to in my mind, in order to get the value out of putting a ranged weapon in this squad, that means you're going to want to give up charging. I wouldn't do it because I would always try to be charging with these things. And then we have the Banner Sergeant Musician. So with the Banner, you go down to quality 2 on your morale test. So these guys are a brick. With Sturdy, if you take your champion or your hero and you give them the Sturdy boost and you put them in this squad, all of a sudden you're quality 3 with a Banner, you're quality 2 for morale and defense 2 all the time. Bricks. I would model them as just like steel ball bearings. Put little feet on them.
Oh shit. Nut, meat, bolt.
Right. Next, we got the Hammer Elites. Quality 3, defense 4, slow, sturdy. They have great weapons. And that's it. That's it.
I mean, for 5 of them, that's 10 attacks at AP2. That's another, I'm going to hit you in the face and it's going to hurt.
Right. They are quality 3, so that's pretty good for AP2. But I'd rather throw Berserkers in the problem. Because I'm weird. I'm just weird that way. I mean, these guys,
10 attacks at AP2 out of 3. That leaves a lot of room for ouch.
It does. It does. I will give it. They are a pretty good unit, but in my mind...
Yes, I know. You and your berserkers.
Me and my berserkers. Yes.
He like toothpaste sandwiches.
My tactics are ABC. Always be charging. Now we're into the fun stuff here. We got coal golems. These are our constructs. 115 points for 3 of them. Quality 4, defense 4, slow, strider, sturdy, toughness 3. They have 1 attack, a piece of AP2 with blast 3 to start with. You can give them heavy blades for 3 attacks, AP1 at rending, or fists for 4 attacks, AP1. Now, they do have strider, which most of the other units don't, but they have slow, so that kind of counteracts all the fun in my head.
Great maces. Oh, there you go.
I mean, these guys, they kind of fall into a weird meh category for me, just because they're slow. And with sturdy, they go down to defense 3, but I feel like they don't have the throughput. Unless you dedicate a character to them that has something like, what could we do with those characters again?
You could put the aura,
we do the precision charge, give them +1 to hits.
Or the, what's it called? The boost aura, the
sturdy boost aura?
No, it's,
Swift aura.
Thank you, Swift aura.
I mean, you can put Swift aura on there. That is the way to go.
And I will say, if you put Swift aura on them and then go into a squad of, like, let's say it was the Vampiric Undead that had, squads of 20. Or zombies with squads of 20.
Okay.
Those are blasted 3 each.
Well, yeah, if you keep it with the Great Mace. Well, if you keep it with the Great Mace, not only they blast, but that's where your AP is.
Yeah, I mean, if you can put them in the right positioning against the squad, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
1 attack, AP2, blast of 3, bang, bang, bang.
All right, so we'll say Cold Golems gets Uncle C approved, warbossfitz, meh. We're going to start rating them like that. All right, next up we got the Steam Suits. 3 of them for 175 points, quality 3, defense 3. So again, with sturdy, these drop down to defense 2. They don't have the option for a banner, so you're always going to be testing quality 3 on your morale. They come with steam guns, 1 shot at 12 inches, AP1 blast at 3. They can punch in the face 1 time. And then you can replace the steam guns with great weapons and heavy shields to give them fortified, so they will always, the shots coming in are going to be AP -1. Ooh.
But it also gives you, better AP. No blast, but it does give you more attacks with better AP.
More attacks with better AP.
And fortified.
And fortified. Well, we'll talk a bit about the weird interaction there. And then we got heavy fists, 4 attacks, AP1 with rending. I like that option.
So you can beef them up. Too bad you can't use both.
And then we have down here the Rune of Slowing, where you can choose an enemy unit within 18 inches, and you pretty much knock them down a speed rank. -2, -4 to their movement. So with the sturdy and fortified, because if you switch out for the shields, you become sturdy and fortified. So you are AP -1 from the shot, and you count as an extra defense value. So you become defense 2, -1 AP. I feel like that's freaking overkill.
Poquito.
Poquito overkill. True, you get the AP2 on that. And, a dwarf in a steam suit with a shield just looks cool. Steam guns. Okay, for ranged weapons with the dwarves, let me just put this out there. My thoughts on dwarves and ranged weapons. Unless the unit is cheap, like cheap, I don't want to put a ranged weapon on it because you are going to want to be moving that towards an objective because you are slow. The steam suit's big problems, if I give them a steam gun, is they are never going to be able to reach the halfway point of the board if they move and fire every turn. That and the steam guns are only 12-inch range, so effectively you only have an effective range of 16 inches. So it'd be 4 for the slow move and then 12-inch for the shot. I mean,
unless you give them something that has
unless you give them a swift boost aura.
Yeah.
Unless you give them a swift boost aura. They're 175.
They're quite expensive.
They're quite expensive, but they're tough. They have a toughness 3, and they're real freaking beefy as far as defense goes.
They've got good weapons. So.
They got good weapons.
If you can get within range.
They got good weapons. I don't know. Again, they kind of fall into that weird category of, it's cool, but I don't know about the rules. All right, next, Marksman. This is kind of exactly what I was talking about as far as cheap units that have ranged weapons. 75 points for 5 of them, quality 4, defense 5. They got slow. Start off with rifles, which is one-shot AP1 at 18. And you can replace the rifles with crossbows for 24-inch with rending. And you can replace one rifle with a twin pistol. And then they have the banner, musician, and the sergeant option.
You know what I find comical?
What?
How the fuck's a crossbow shoot further with rending than a rifle?
Because of rules. I don't know. Yeah,
I shouldn't think into it, but I am.
Yeah, don't think too hard. We're using smooth bores. Smooth bore flintlocks.
Got it.
Yeah, these guys, I would consider taking these. One, because they are cheap at 75 points. And they have over 12-inch range. So you can move the marksman forward. You can do little 4-inch chunks, and you can reach out to across the board to range into something, especially with the crossbows. You get a 28-inch threat range on that. I wouldn't worry about the twin pistol because it's only a 13-inch threat range. Yes, that is the threat range. All right, so marksmen are cheap enough with the right weapons. I like them.
They're 4 and 5, though. I mean,
quality 4 ain't bad, and defense 5. Just don't get charged.
I mean, as long as you stay outside of a 12-inch range, or depending on the army, 16.
Right. So yeah, like I said, they're cheap enough. Cheap enough to run like little squads of 5. And speaking of little squads of 5, we got Rangers. They quality 4, defense 5, scout, slow, and sturdy. So these get to start at the halfway point. They come with throwing axes, which gives you 2 attacks, 12 inches, AP nothing. And you can switch out the throwing axes, or throwing picks, sorry, with a crossbow, which would negate the use of scouts, but I digress. And you can replace one of the throwing picks with a giant crossbow for one-shot AP2, deadly 3 at 18. And then you have the standard command upgrades down there. If I needed a scout unit, like if I was going to be running something competitive and I needed a scout unit for some kind of progressive objective, I would take like 2 squads of these naked. 2 squads of 5.
Well, you'd be stupid to use the crossbow getting rid of your scout, because then they're just slow little fuckers running in the backfield.
Well, I mean, the crossbow, it doesn't get rid of the scout, but it removes the... You get 1 less attack, tree pickup rending, but that's half the reason you have scout, is so you can use short-range weapons. But yeah, I would run these naked and afraid. Scout them forward, try to get to objectives, try to stay out of line of sight. Don't get shot. It's half my tactics is don't get shot.
Don't think, just duck.
Don't think, just duck. There you go. Next, we got the Iron Marksman. It's another ranged unit here. Quality 3, defense 3. So we got some beefy boys, but we're paying for it for 160 points. Slow and sturdy. They have slow and sturdy, wins their race.
That's what was my nickname in high school.
Yes. So we got fire rifles, 18 inches, 2 shots with rending. And then we have the command upgrades, and then you can replace one of the fire rifles with a shrapnel bomb, twin fire pistol, or a torpedo rifle. And the only one there I would think about taking is a torpedo rifle, just because of the range. It's you get rid of 2 of your rending shots, but you pick up 1 AP2 deadly 3. I'm a sucker for ranged units that have more than 1 shot, and with rending on there, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. It's expensive though. It's a 160 for the squad. It's one of those. If I was taking a gun line, definitely.
Not counting if you had the torpedo rifle, then it's 175.
Yeah,
but worth it.
You take the torpedo, it's 175.
That deadly 3 and AP2 makes it really worth it though.
Sometimes it's good to have some pocket deadly hanging around.
Pocket sand.
Yeah, you pocket sand somebody. Oh no, there's a chariot running in that direction. Pocket rifle. Or pocket torpedo. Not that kind of torpedo.
Sorry, Scuba Steve.
Family show. All right, next we got the Berserker Cold Beast Riders. 115 points for 5 of them. Quality 4, defense 5, fearless, furious, melee slayer, ravage 1, and sturdy. So they are berserkers on beasts. They come with 2 attacks in combat. Yeah, you can replace the same thing as the berserkers. You can replace the hammers with runic hammers for Quake, devastating frenzy, and then you have the command upgrades.
I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't just spend the extra 30 and replace it with just so you can get the Quake aspect.
Right, Quake aspect along with the melee slayer. Yeah. Ravage is kind of a fun add-on there. Don't bet the farm on Ravage, but They're like berserkers that you don't have to put a hero with to give them the swift aura because they're not fast, but they're not slow. So even fast dwarves are just standard walking speed.
I just pictured a midget riding Pumbaa.
Pretty much. So yeah, everything we said for the berserkers, say for this. You're a little faster. Then we have some interesting looking things. I'll put the pictures up when I'm editing the video. We have the Beast Construct Riders. These things are just tin potted out, man. 175 points for 3 of them. These are heavy cavalry. Quality 3, defense 3, impact 2, sturdy, toughness 3. 1 attack apiece with hand weapons, and then 1 attack apiece AP2 with heavy claws. So the battle value on this one is going to be 4. So 2 with your regular attacks and then 2 for impact. You replace the hand weapons with a axe halberd for 15 points, giving them AP1 and rending. I don't see why not. You can give them the speed debuff to make somebody else slow, like the rest of your dwarves, and the command upgrades.
I mean, even if you ignored the axe halberds, Jesus, that's some angry Pumbas.
That's some angry Pumbas. I mean, they are tough. It's going to go down to defense 2 with sturdy. That's a big problem I have with a lot of other heavy cavalry. Is usually like they're not heavy enough for me, but for these, they're good and heavy, going down to defense 2. And then you can also put a character with them to give them all kinds of other stuff.
These AOF dwarves are fucking beefy.
They're mean.
Wow.
Like I said, they lost the war once. They're not going to lose it again. So I mean, a character you could put a character on there. You can give them the the beast construct. Give them all the fun stuff to go with the rest of it. And what would I put on there for an aura? So I guess the sturdy boost aura would work pretty good on these, just to take them down to a 2-up save all the time. So yeah, Beast Construct Riders, they are going to be expensive. 175 for 3 of them, plus the character you got to put in there is going to be an extra 100 points. I mean,
if it's cheap, it ain't worth it.
Freaking tanks, though. Defense 2 all the time.
Pumbaa.
Pumbaa.
That's some angry bacon. Only Smokey smells your ass.
Well, I'll show you the models we go inside. Everything is smoky. Like I said, they're tin canned out. All right, moving on into the light vehicles. We've got the attack helicopter, quality 4, defense 2. Fast! Oh my god, it's fast! It flies, it's sturdy, and it's toughness 6. So, defense 2, it's sturdy. You're gonna have that 2-up save. Pretty much it's gonna be a defense 1, but you're always gonna fail the 1s. So just remember that when someone shoots at you, because you're not gonna want to get this thing into combat. Because it has a rapid flamethrower, 2 shot to 12 inches with blast 3 and reliable. Fire from the sky, and you can replace the rapid flamethrower with a mini cannon for 2 shots, AP1 blast to 3. It's just a little bit more range, and you hit on a 4 instead of 2. And then you can upgrade it with scout. Again, if I was looking for a scout unit, this one is not a bad choice if I had to take a scout unit. But if I didn't have to take a scout unit, just because it's fast and it flies, I wouldn't worry about it. I'd start it on the line. Yeah, it's good unit. It's good unit. It's good unit.
I'm glad you figured out what you said. A good unit.
A good unit. All right, moving on to the bomber helicopter. 170 points, quality 4, defense 2. Crossing Barrage. This is the first time we've seen it in this army. Once per activation, when this model moves through an enemy unit, pick one of them and roll X number of dice. In this case, it'd be 2. For each 4 up, it takes 3 hits with AP1. So it's 2 attacks with blast 3, AP1 to hit on a 4. So when it says move through the enemy unit, you have flying, so you move over top of it. And then we got fast, flying, sturdy, and toughness 6. We got the burst gun, 2 shots to 24, AP1. And then we have 2 attacks with the crew attacks. And yeah, it has no upgrades because it doesn't need them. Because it doesn't need them. This would be a cool unit to have like behind your troops. And then when the 2 battle lines smack into each other, it flies over top and just starts dropping bombs on things. Is that all worth 170 points? Maybe.
If it works, it is.
If it works, it is. You're banking an awful lot on those 2 4-up attacks, but I mean, blast 3 AP1. I would probably take like more attack helicopters than bomber helicopters, but still not bad. All right, we're into the vehicles and monsters. We got one here. It is the Giant Construct for 300 points. This is the one I wish the character could take for a mount. Because then it could be all kinds of fun stuff. Quality 3, defense 2, fear of 2, fearless, slow, sturdy, toughness 12. So even though we have mechanical legs, they're still slow. Comes with a great weapon, 8 attacks, AP 2, and a stomp for 4 attacks, AP 1. So not bad in combat, but not great. It is quality 3 though. And then you could replace the great weapon with a heavy steam gun for 4 shots, AP 1 blast of 3 at 18 inches. And then it has the rune of slowing to make something 1 speed bracket slower.
I'd leave it naked.
Instead of taking the heavy steam gun, this is something that you're gonna want. You're gonna want that toughness 12, defense 2, standing on an objective. Like, this is mine, come and take it. And with a heavy steam gun, you're gonna want to be slow and methodical. And there's only 4 rounds in the game. Yeah, I would take it with the melee weapons just so it has a further threat range over the course of the game. But overall, not a bad unit. Again, I've been saying it a lot. There is no bad units, except for maybe the miners. Next, we got the Dwarf Artillery, something they are relatively known for. 90 points, quality 4, defense 5, has artillery as a rule. That means that if it doesn't move, which, surprise, surprise, it can't move, it gets +1 to hit when it shoots at something over 9 inches away, and it is -2 to hit when something is shooting at it from over 9 inches away, along with sturdy, which is again another 9-inch rule, with toughness 3. Comes with a burst cannon, 6 shots, AP 1 at 18, and 3 little attacks from the crew. Now, some of these are funny. You can replace the burst cannon with a pick flinger. 2 shots, AP 2 blast 3. Short range on it though. Got a cannon, 2 shots, AP 1 blast 3 at 30. Got a flame cannon, 2 shots, AP 1 blast 3 and reliable at 18. Heavy cannon, 2 shots, AP 2 deadly 3 at 30. A bolt thrower, 1 shot, AP 3 deadly 6 at 36. Or a stone thrower, 1 shot, AP 2 blast of 6 indirect at 36. And for some reason, you can give it the rune of slowing. So even though it can't move, it can look at somebody and be like, slow down there, mister.
Spontaneous little legs.
Spontaneous tiny legs.
I was just blast of 6, deadly 6, oh Jesus.
Yeah, it does have some cool weapons, and it's going to be shooting at quality 3 because of the artillery, unless something gets real close to you. And if something is close enough to where the artillery rule doesn't matter, you done messed up. you let something get far too close.
Now you fucked up.
Yeah. A lot of stuff is 18-inch range. I would definitely be aiming for the 30s and the 36.
So the bolt thrower, the heavy cannon.
Yeah, heavy cannon, the throwers. Yeah. Just because you don't want stuff getting that close. And yeah, the bad part about being a static artillery piece is that if there's terrain in the way, you want to set up for like long sight lines. Otherwise, we've had games where you could just outflank an artillery piece with a wall.
Unless it had the indirect.
Unless it had the indirect. The stone thrower, yes, it does give you the option to fling at everything for all turns.
So like on the board we have set up now, best one to go with would be stone thrower.
So next, we're into the Titans. We got the Coal Golem Titan. 550 points. You can run this at under 2,000. Quality 3, defense 2, fear of 3, fearless, slow, strider, sturdy, and toughness 18. Comes with 6 attacks, AP 2, and 12 attacks, AP 4. This thing is a get in combat with me. I freaking dare you. I will rip your throat out. Which would be amazing, but she's slow. Like, I've made a couple lists with this in there. I feel, this is just me talking, that if my enemy put a Coal Golem Titan on the board, I know it has no ranged weapons. And I know if I'm 9 inches away from it, it can't hurt me. Unless you somehow brought a caster and you put the super assault boost on them.
Which you can.
Remember,
you can put your champion on top of one of those cards and you can caster 3.
Yeah, you can do that. That would be the only thing that I would think to do with this. That's just me personally. But you like them though.
Yeah, I like any Titans.
Big slab of coal beat you in the face.
Well, lay my stones on your head.
And then our next Titan, the only other Titan they have, which is an interesting one, is the helicopter construct for 735. So you need big games for this. Quality 3, defense 2, flying, sturdy, and toughness 12. Comes with a great burst cannon, 12 shots AP1 at 18, a steam gun array, 6 shots AP1 blast of 3 at 12, and 6 attacks from its crew. So this thing is a ranged weapon freaking powerhouse. 6 shots with blast of 3. Wow, but you gotta be close though. It don't matter. You could give it attack cargo bays where it just spawns an attack helicopter, or a bomber cargo bay where it spawns bombers. You can give them two of those, so you can take 2 attack helicopters or 2 bombers, which would be an interesting thing. Like in my mind, this would be a cool way to use the bomber. Have this thing move forward on the board, blasting stuff, and if anything gets close, be like, have a bomber, and the bomber flies over and drops shit on you.
I like where your head's at, Warboss.
See, I make creative ways of blasting people. And then it has the rune of tiny legs down there at the bottom. So, yeah, this is for bigger games. Bigger games that I kind of think in like bigger games that this thing would be part of. When you get to like 3,000 points, 4,000 points, I feel like you should add an extra turn or 2 onto the game.
Is that something we explore in the future?
Maybe something we explore in the future. Maybe.
Question mark.
Yeah, question mark. So you're pretty cool with that. And then we have down here narrative heroes. We got a narrative hero of the army. We normally don't go over these, but since we're here, we'll do it. We got Gamharl.
Grandma?
Grandma. Hamhawk. Quality 3, defense 4.
God. That just made me think of, name one thing that an intruder don't want to see. Naked grandma, Steve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Naked grandma.
So we got Fearless Hero Precision Charge Aura, so he comes with that stock, slow, sturdy, toughness 3, and it's unique, which means you only take 1. I said he. I don't know if Grandmarl's a dude or...
That's 100% a confused dude.
Maybe. It comes with the Hammer of Conagald. I think I got that right. 3 attacks, AP2 with Bane. This is the first and only Bane weapon we've seen in the whole army. It's odd. And there's no upgrades, so...
It's really confusing.
Yeah, they gotta make up names.
Fearless Hero, Precision Charge Aura, Slow, Sturdy, Tough at 3, Unique.
So he gives +1 to hit when him and his unit charge. I mean, it's only 75 points. You're not going to find narrative heroes that have like a discount because they're all made using the same points algorithm. But, I mean, he's interesting.
That's a really nice way of saying it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, oh man, this guy's got great rules. It's like, no, he's just a hero that has precision charge and is carrying a Bane weapon.
Huzzah.
Huzzah. Yeah. All right, so that's the whole army list.
Remember how at the beginning you were like, we're only going to go through the fun ones?
Well, they're all fun.
As you start going, I'm like, yeah, I see where this is going.
Well, because I feel like I can't...
They're all good, though.
I can't leave any units out. So now we got some army lists. Each of us both made 2. Uncle C's going to go over his first one. What do you got? What are you bringing to the table?
Oh, I love being here to listen to your flubs. Alright, so I've got a Steam Suit Champion. I gave him the Swift Aura, leading a squad of 3 Steam Suits. Just bare bones, but since they'll have the Swift Aura, I can get him closer to use those blast weapons. I've got a Berserk Lord. Also, once again, gave him the Swift Aura, leading... 2 squads of 5, so a squad of 10 berserkers. God, it's cold. In battle, I've got 2 squads of bearded veterans. I've got 2 squads of hammer elites. I have a squad of coal golems. 2 squads of coal golems. Sorry, no, 1 squad of coal golems. I've never done this. Shut up. 1 squad of coal golems. I've got 2 squads of marksmen.
I'm assuming that these squads are combined, right?
The marksmen?
Well, some of the other ones you've talked about already.
Marksmen, no. The hammer elites, yes.
Okay.
I'm just lumping them together for big squads.
Okay.
I've got a giant construct and a coal golem titan. As he said, I like the big titan.
He likes the big titan. So you got a nice little smattering of stuff there. Pretty much, you took the greatest hits, all the unique stuff for the army, except for the tin pot troops, or the tin pot cavalry. So yeah, that's a pretty good balance to everything.
I don't know if you said that.
Nothing crazy. So let me go over my first list here. I call this Dwarves wide, just because I have to. My mind goes to how many troops can I put on the board and how silly can I make this? So first off, for this army, we got 3 squads of 20 mountain warrior dwarves. They have a banner musician in the unit, and they all have spears. So it's 3 bricks of 20 that are going to be saving on a 4 from range. And if you charge me, I get to fight first. Then we got a Berserker Lord who has the Swift Aura, leading a squad of 10 Berserkers, who have the dual runic hammers. They all have the runic hammer upgrades. And we got a unit of coal miners. 10 of them, speed bump. Here we go. They got the explosives, though.
They're going to die so quick.
They're going to die immediately. And then we got a unit of, we got a Dwarf Champion leading a unit of Iron Warriors, and they have the Sturdy Boost Aura, so those are our bricks. Absolute bricks. Then we got we got 2 of those. 2 units of Dwarf Champion leading Iron Warriors. So we got 2 big old I'm not moving bricks. Oh wait, no, we got 3 of those. Good Lord, I'm bad at this. And then we got 2 units of 5 Rangers down here I took just in case I needed something to scout. So we got 60 Mountain Warriors, we got 30 Iron Warriors, squad of Berserkers, and then we got some Rangers in there. So if you charge the Mountain Boys, they're going to fight you first. A brick of 20 of them. If you fight the Iron Warriors, I hope you brought AP like a bajillion, otherwise you ain't going through. And then we got the miners and the Rangers to give me a little bit of movement shenanigans. Yay. What's your second list?
So I've got a Berserker Lord with the Swift Aura. Actually gave him the Coal Beast as well, with the Ravage 1 and Swift, leading 2 squads of Berserkers, which is 1 big squad of 10. They have the Rune of Power, which gives them Devastating and Frenzy. For some reason, it lumped 3. It's supposed to be 2 and 2.
Okay, that's fine.
I have another Berserk Lord leading another squad of 10 with the Swift Aura. Then I gave him absolutely nothing. I forgot to do that one. Cool, whatever. I have 10 Bearded Vets with the heavy spears on them, which gives you counter. Bullshit. I have 10 Iron Marksmen, but it's going to be 2 squads of 5. They have the 4 times the fire rifles. I actually gave them the torpedo rifles.
Okay, so overall I get 8 rifles and 2 pocket torpedoes.
Yep. I've got 2 squads of 5 Beast Riders, Berserk Coal Beast Riders. I've got 2 times 3 squads, the Beast Construct Riders. And then I have 2 attack helicopters with the flamethrowers.
Alright, so this is more of a faster army here. I'm assuming the Berserker Lord with the on the Beast is going with the Berserker Beast Riders.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's interesting. It's all Berserkers or it's all range stuff that is just going to beat you in the face. Yeah. I like it. Picasso.
Well, I mean, the first one was kind of this looks cool, that looks cool. And the second one I was like, what's going to work, actually?
All right, then now I have my second list, the last one we're going to talk about here. We got a Dwarf Champion, who's leading a unit of Coal Golems with a Swift Aura, and then he's leading 6 Coal Golems. We got that 3 times, because I like my spam. So we got a total of 18 Coal Golems that have the Swift Aura, led by 3 different Dwarf Champions. Then we got a Coal Golem Titan, because I went for the theme of coal. And
okay, Santa.
Okay, Santa, exactly. And then I have 3 squads of 5 Iron Marksmen. These guys are just going to be there kind of as cleanup. I did not give them pocket torpedoes because I kind of ran out of points. But they were kind of an afterthought in there. So I wanted at least 1 coal-themed list. Yeah, that's it. We don't know what we're going to be bringing on Thursday to the live stream. So that's going to do it for us tonight, guys. Check out the Age of Fantasy lore. It is pretty grim. I like it. And make sure you check out our sponsors. We got their links down in the description below. We got Corvus Terrain, and then we have PrintedStarships.com, who he says he's getting some Station Forge stuff here pretty soon. That'll be pretty cool. And yeah, I hope you guys are having fun playing OPR wherever you are, and we will talk with you later. Bye-bye.